So if you're new to action cameras, or maybe you've been using them for a while, but you haven't really used them much for photography, I'm going to share some tips and kind of show you my process for editing these photos. It's a little unique because these action cameras shoot with a really wide field of view, so there tends to be a lot of distortion in the raw images. For context, I'm using the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. I've been shooting with this since last August. If you're shooting with the GoPro or the DJI Osmo Action, they all have the same kind of wide lens and same kind of distortion effect. So I found a good middle ground for at least the distortion effect and getting some nice color out of the images. So let's jump into it. I'll show you what I mean. Before we get into the actual editing, I just want to show you guys the raw image versus the JPEG image, which the camera captures. Like I said, I'm using the Ace Pro 2, and if you set it to shoot raw, it shoots raw plus JPEG, so you get both outputs. So looking at this first image here, this is the JPEG image. This is basically what I saw when I'm holding the camera and shooting. The back of the camera kind of fixes the distortion slightly, but compared to the raw image, there's zero adjustments to it as you'd expect from raw image. So this is the straight raw image of the camera, and you can see that the horizon, especially the horizon in this one, there's a lot more curvature. You're seeing my hand in the bottom left and the top right, versus the JPEG image, it's partially cropped out. And the horizon in the background is almost level now, so don't be surprised when you open up the raw files that they're going to look more distorted because they're meant to. So you have more freedom to adjust it to your liking because it's so wide. Let's get in the edits and I'll show you kind of how I edit the raw images to get to a nice kind of middle ground and balanced image. Alright, so jump over to Lightroom here. So here's the first photo, as you guys saw. So this is the raw image, the camera, and this was like my first time shooting with this camera, so I didn't realize that. I knew it was a wide lens. I didn't realize it was that wide that it was going to pick up my hands on the edges of it. So be mindful of how you hold the camera when you're taking photos. And also I had this stupid little camera strap that was kind of blowing around, and I didn't realize that was going to be in the images as much as it was. So word of caution with that. What I want to do with these images, before I do any color edits or anything, I'm going to go down here to lens correction, file corrections. It's not going to automatically pick it up, so you're going to have to click where it says lens profile make. In here for DJI and GoPro, there is not one in here for Insta360. I found the GoPro one to actually be like a great fit for it, so if we select GoPro, it's going to correct it 100%. So you'll see the slider down here that says amount. The distortion went to 100. If we go back to 0, this is my raw image, what it defaults to. And while 100 may help make the horizon in the back level by fixing the distortion, the edges of the image get way too distorted. Like the foot on the bottom of the image, like this just looks silly. So that is not going to work. So start from 0 on the distortion scale here. Just drag it up to where you get a good balance of the background being close to level, but also not distorting your primary subject too much. So for this particular one, I think 50 is a good amount. Still obviously have things in the corners of the frame that I want to cut out, but if I'm just looking at Brittany in the center here and the background, this feels like a good kind of balance. So for time's sake, I'm going to drop on a preset here and then kind of work backwards from there. Add some more contrast. It's definitely cold out there, so let's drop the temperature down. It's a little overexposed. Bring that down. Shadows maybe up a little more, highlights down. And because I don't want these elements in the corner of the image, which again is my fault for that stupid camera strap, I'm just going to crop this down to a better looking photo. Get those elements, all those distracting elements out of the way and make this look better. Make the texture some more. Still kind of bright. It was pretty dark at that time. It's looking pretty good. So any of the colors, like the blue in her jacket's a little bright, so let's tone that back a little bit. It's a little better. Yellows and greens, I like the grasses in there, that looks good. Just for a quick edit, I feel like that looks a lot better. Here's the raw image with no color edits and the edited image here. Okay, this next image, I'm just going to throw on the base preset first on this one. You don't have to fix the distortion first. You can start in any order you want. I like to do it for those ones that look really distorted because I want to get the image looking correctly before I even start editing it, because if it's too distorted or just weird looking after I fix it, I might just skip the image and find a better one. So like I mentioned before, it's a horizontal landscape shot and there's no clear level horizon line in this one, so the distortion effect is much less obvious. So we can go ahead and just adjust some of the tones in here. Brighten this up a little bit to bring the grasses up. Drop the clarity a little bit, texture up, add some more detail. So it's okay for right now. Let's go back down to, bring some more blues into the shadows, because definitely make the image feel a little bit cooler. It was cloudy and cold that morning, so it's a bit more fitting to how it felt. Sharpening everything will leave the same for now. Profile corrections, let's go to GoPro again. Freaking crazy. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention in the last photo, under lens corrections, when we go to the profile corrections and the make, I selected GoPro. I didn't mention the model, so they have a few different models of cameras on here. I think the Hero 13 Black is going to be the closest to the Ace Pro 2. So we'll go ahead and select that one and show it. That's no distortion. Or this is the raw image with distortion. This is their version of fixing the distortion, but the water just gets a little kind of crazy right there. So again, let's go back to 0. Just gonna slide this so you can see kind of how it's compressing the image and stretching it. So let's go to 0 and drag that up. That's probably good right there, actually around like 36. And I'll just crop this in to get my finger out of the shot. So next image, this is a cave behind a waterfall. In this instance, the Ace Pro 2 is actually the perfect camera for this. One, because it's waterproof, so I don't have to worry about it getting wet because water is blowing everywhere. Two, because the wide field of view, I was able to get the entire cave opening as well as waterfall in the shot. So it worked out perfectly for this one. So again, we'll go profile corrections. We'll bring this down to GoPro. And Hero 13. So this is 0 effect, 0 distortion. Let's just drag that up. I mean, it honestly doesn't look bad. I like 100 for this instance. It's kind of getting a little bit stretched in this corner of the images, but because it's more dark and like the center is like the focus here, it's not as bad. So you can do like 100 on this one, but I would probably tone it back a little bit more. Maybe around like 45 or something. That one looks good. And crop my fingers out because I'm not paying attention, and bring this up. So we're still capturing the whole opening of the cave and the waterfall. Getting some of the pathway walking in. There's someone standing over there. So it's still a nice image overall, and barely had to do much as far as the distortion level there. Over a different location because that was all in Iceland. So let's check out these ones from Utah. This was at our Airbnb out in Kanab. It's a little dark right now, so I'm just going to mess with some of the colors first in this instance. I think I want to bring the contrast down because there's already a bunch of shadows. Let's bring that exposure up some more. Let's see our dog. Our little blueberry, right there in the middle. Brad's just sniffing around doing her thing. She's kind of far out. I wasn't super close to her, so I'll probably end up cropping this photo in more just to kind of get her more in focus. Let's go down to profile corrections. Anyways, distortion, GoPro, Hero 13 Black, and let's change. At 100 here, it looks like the leaves are almost like running towards the camera, so that's kind of crazy. So let's drop that. Let's drop that down to like 65. That looks pretty good. This one again, this one's hard to tell if there's a lot of distortion in the image because I don't have like, the house is being blocked, so you can't see like a lot of vertical straight lines, and I can't see the flat horizon, so crop this image down because that's way too big and you can barely see her in the middle. Bring this down here. Let's just center her. Yeah, that's much better. Last image here. This one, I honestly don't even need to like correct this if I don't want to. Like, it looks pretty good as is. If we just dropped on a quick preset, bumped up some lights, shadows, contrast. Like because of this type of shot, I'm getting so much like of the textures around the actual cave opening. Like, it looks super cool. It really comes down to your personal preference. Like some people really like that fisheye effect, that fits your style, so you want to keep it. You know, you don't want to mess with the corrections. Really, it comes down to the actual image itself. Like because of the way this image is framed and shot, it kind of works for it. So I don't really need to do it. I'll do it to show you guys, but it doesn't really need it to make it any better. So this is the image with the corrections turned off. This is with them turned on at 100, but let's bring that down like, again, somewhere between like 50 and 60. So it's off and that's on. Blocks are kind of flowing around the edges. It doesn't really make a difference as far as distortion. So in this particular case, I probably wouldn't even do the corrections. I would just go straight to color corrections and leave the distortion effect as it is because it looks pretty cool. So that was just a quick walkthrough of how I go about editing my action camera photos. I would spend a lot more time going through the kind of color edits, playing with the highlights, shadows to get it like exactly how I want it. So if you're interested in seeing some of the final images, check out my Instagram page. Otherwise, I hope these tips help you, especially if you're new to these cameras. But yeah, really just have fun with it. Find your style, find what you like. This thing's so small and light and convenient to carry around. Like I find myself shooting with this more often than not. So just get out there and shoot, have fun with it.